Mr. Copeland.
What's up, Queen?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm glad you got it.
I got it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, are you busy?
I'm not actually.
Okay. Um. Oh, nothing much. Today is like supposed to be my teen talk show,
Oh,
and I definitely wanted you to come over. And
wow.
we're going to have to flop numbers sooner or later because certain things that you already know, certain things that I do, I wanted to be educational. And I think I'm gonna change my time frame on Saturdays for my B Moore's Real Teen Talk to show. I think I'm gonna
Okay.
change it to like maybe three, right?
Okay.
Because 2 o'clock might be too early. But let me give you a little brief introduction. Some years ago I created Baltimore's Real Teen Talk Show.
Oh,
And well, 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, y'all, and it came to a halt, because of some things I talk about as well. But anyway, it's to get it started back up again. I had my nephews and some youth coming out to do the show and everything, and the goal is to begin to start it again. So the same way we talk about, like on the couch talk show, right? The same way we talk about life, you get me, is how I want the youth to feel comfortable in talking about themselves. So I named it the Be Moore's Real Teen Talk Show, right?
okay.
Giving our youth a voice.
That is amazing.
And see,
Super
it's
cool.
it's it's people like yourself, because I know where you at and the stuff you do.
Mm-hmm.
In that process, the goal is to open up a multi-purpose center, right?
Oh, that's
In
amazing.
Baltimore City. Thank you. And in the multi-purpose center is to have a daycare center, right?
Oh,
And the
okay.
reason why, when I was writing that night, um, we have so many children, and you know how we have to watch certain words. You already know that, who
Right.
are home being raped, and I'm gonna say abused and all of that type of stuff, right? So I know they can't go but so far, you get me,
Right.
with getting too personal, but the goal is to have a platform where they can talk about themselves as much as they can, as far as being comfortable. And then I want like a therapist there. I want the host, I want them to be at least 24. I don't know why it's in my mind. I want them to be about 24 years old, right? And who have experienced some stuff in life and turned their lives around. You know what I mean? So that they can encourage them and motivate them like we do. But the whole goal with all of that, to run it down to you with the Be More's Team Talk, the whole goal with all of that as well is to help them not to be so destructive in life, because they're going through a lot. You already know that, with the peer pressure,
Mm-hmm.
with the lead, with the mold, with the, I'm gonna say, rodents dropping. Well, in Baltimore City, we got a bill passed for slumlords to become licensed landlords. So now they got a year to fix their property up. So if
Oh,
it's
really?
mold and lead and all that in there, they have to fix, they have to bring the facility, the houses up to date. And the reason why the council members came up with that bill, because they feel like this is what's causing a lot of our youth behaviors.
And I can tell you that is absolutely correct.
And you know what I was reading last night about some houses here in the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they knew had lead in it. And they actually put children in the houses to get lead so they can monitor them. I said, no,
An
the,
experiment.
yeah. I was reading that yesterday. Now, too, so I don't know how to put a topic up, but I thought about this in the process of us just talking,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the school to prison pipeline.
Pipeline. Oh Lord, I knew you were going there.
Yeah, and you know what? I
That's
want
a
us,
real thing.
yeah, because I figured since it's the teen talk show, And we kind of know what they're doing to not really educate. And it talks basically about your marginalized community, but it's basically geared towards the blacks,
The black and brown people.
from kindergarten on up. Now, I've been spoke out against the school system, right? For them not properly educating our children. And when I spoke on that, once again, you know me, I got to look at my life, right? And once I looked at my life and I came out in the 10th grade and I shared all that, right? I shared that, and having a ninth grade education, I know how important it is to further your education with the knowledge and everything, finishing school and all of that. And not only that, I always ask people, what is your vision, what you want to be when you grow up? Like, what is your dream? What is your vision? And normally two. So for me, it was truck driving and it was culinary. But the culinary beat out the truck driving, right? I mean, the truck driving beat out the culinary. But anyway, you have to have something that that passion, right? So and I'm amazed because I did trucking. I was in the field for 35 years and I retired at 58. So now look, I asked my son, my son plays soccer, and that's all me and my wife my ex, I'm sorry, was focusing on, was just his soccer career from when he was young on up. And he went to this private school. He went to get in this private school, and they asked him, just in case you don't be successful as a professional soccer player, what else would you do, right? But look at this part. I got you. They said, well, what else would you love to do? Do you know we didn't give him a secondary? We didn't ask him. I said, oh my God. And now, guess what? That's what I'm saying to my son. I said, Steve, well, I'll be honest with you, to make it plain and simple. The goal is to open up a recreation center and to have sports and all of that there as well. Music, art, theater, dance, and all this type of stuff. So I told him, I said, Steve, if you begin to lose that desire, I said, we can start your own league.
That would be great.
Now, that's what I was telling him, because his goal is to go overseas because he can make millions overseas. Yep. And this is the way it was taught to us too. He can make millions overseas, and if he make the decision to come back to America, he's already in that salary gap. I mean, you know that salary range. So
he can teach from there.
Yep. Yeah. And know what? Because of some of the people we know that does that, I feel as though he can play for them, but he don't like indoor soccer. Yeah. Yeah. But now, these are the things that, when it comes to us talking about certain topics, right? Like whenever I do this here, and we talking about embracing our youth, encouraging them, empowering them, the same with the adults, you know what I mean? But I don't run across too many people that have a platform where they talk about the youth or giving them a voice. So now, as time go on, I just want to get into the habit of starting my time again, because I have to put together a production team again. I got to put all that together and show up and have people there to do everything, even with the regular talk show. As we begin to grow, I do want us to do the Restream platform that I have here, my broadcast network. So I want to embed TikTok into my regular Restream broadcast network, but they too strict for me. And I could see me now speaking, and for some reason they cut it off on their end. So I said, I'm not putting them in there. I'm not putting them in. Yeah. And it might be different. I don't know, but I didn't do all that research on it. It's just the way I see them do things now over here. I do not want them over on my regular Restream platform, but I do want to fix it as time go on. when we talk about certain things and knowing the work you do, the work I do, what Dr. K do, mainly when it comes to the psychological issues.
Right.
You get me?
I got you.
So the for last night I was laying here and I started thinking about the school to prison pipeline. And I said, that's what I'm gonna talk about. ATR. And I said, that's what I want to talk about, because a lot of people don't realize that because they're not properly educating our children, and it even went from K on up to grade 12, because they're not properly educating our children, mainly the men. That's why a lot of our children out there with that destructive behavior, because they're actually preparing them. And that's what it talked about.
They don't have an outlet. They don't have any type of recreations. There's a lot of places that they're just boxed in. They're in, marginalized communities. They're not getting the resources there, and then they go to school and they're not liked there. They're not wanted there. Specifically the males, because they don't. Men are very different.
You're right.
Sit down all day long. Like, girls can do that. We are trained to do that. We like to sit down all day long. But boys need to be active. And that's the issue that's going on a lot, too. They need male teachers, more male teachers that look like us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how it is in your city.
Same.
Okay.
And I don't, because I was, like I said, I was thinking about you, and I said I was going to let you basically talk too. Because, I go, and I feel like we right here. I do. And yeah. So I said I'm going to let her basically talk on this too, right? Well, mainly more. I asked the mayor a couple of years ago, right? Now, a couple of years before that, we had about 68 recreation centers in Baltimore City, which was cut down anyway. So I asked him, I said, how many recreation centers do we have in Baltimore now? This was at the mayor's budget meeting. And he said 48. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, you're serious?
Yep.
So give me some context, because again, I've never been to Maryland. I can't wait till you invite me, so I'll come.
Right.
But I don't know what Baltimore looks like. I know the accent. That's all I know.
I'm gonna hurt you, because I was listening to somebody last night and I heard the do and the two, and I'm like, no. Yeah, you do that. I said, no wonder they be teasing us.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's funny. It's different.
Yeah, I was thinking about you last night, and I'm like, girl, I had to get out. I mean, I ain't being girl like that, right? I had to get out my goddamn head, because I was going into La La Land. And I'm like, no, right now. No,
no La La, not La La.
I'm like, just slowly. You get me?
Yeah,
just slowly, because I mean, when you feel like the person is there, and it's like, don't, whatever happens, right? Don't rush nothing. No. Because we can misinterpret. I know I'm saying me, basically misinterpret certain things, but yeah, I thought a lot about that last night. And I don't normally do that. I normally don't do that unless it's somebody that I feel like that matches me, and on the level where I'm at now, as far as the work I do, know how to help build me mentally, emotionally, spiritually, because I never really had that. And the ones that build me a lot, just to let you know, is my children.
That is amazing. Yeah. How many children do you have, Mr.
Well, I actually have 3. Okay. My oldest one is 36. My youngest one is 24, and my son is 22. But I always say I got 4 girls because I raised my stepdaughters, right?
Oh, okay.
And I raised them 2 years before my children came. So to me, to be honest with you, they my children,
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Yeah, and their father, my 26-year-old, her father, I call him daddy number 2. I'm daddy number 1. He be
That's
like, cut
cute.
this shit out, Steve. Cut this shit. I said, yeah, because you daddy, you know. But look, that's how we
But
play,
it's the
right?
reason that y'all can get along.
Yeah,
And
all that's what I be trying to tell people.
that's great.
And then look, we got a grandbaby. So my 26-year-old, you know, had a grandbaby. She 2 now. She had a baby. So I told him, I said, you know what? I'm gonna be nice to you this time. I said,
Yeah.
you are granddaddy number 1. I'm granddaddy number 2. I said, by right, that's my damn baby. he said, he said, cut the show, Steve, cut the show. I said, and then when we're around his family, right? Because I know his uncle and them, because of business wise. Come on, Tim. I know his family because his business. And I said, you know what? I'm Tashir's dad. Y'all know that's daddy number 2. I'm daddy number 1. They don't do nothing but bust out laughing.
I know.
They don't do nothing but crack up. You know, and he had my box truck, right? When that thing happened to me some years ago, and I had to get it off the street, so he stored it for me. He's a mechanic, and he stored it. Yeah. I just went and got it about 5 months ago. So from his lot, but that's why I try to tell people intervention. I'm a family guy. You get me? So anybody that comes in my life, you know, and you family oriented, I'm family oriented. You know, I'm not trying to get with. Well, I try to share stuff so they won't stay into this baby mama drama thing. You get me?
Right.
Because if you're going to date a guy and he got 5 children by 4 or 5 different women, right?
Yeah.
Don't try to pull him. I'm just saying if. Don't try to pull him away from it, right? Now, if y'all got babies together or you got kids together, I mean, you got kids. You don't want him to stop dealing with his kids to focus more on you. Come on.
And I hate when that happens, and it happens a lot,
Yeah.
especially on the male side.
Yeah.
Forsake their first family, but they'll be a great daddy to this woman, to another woman and her children. I was working with a guy about that about 3 years ago, and he was like, what can I do? I was like, all they want is you to apologize.
Whoa.
You can't go back and correct it
right
at this point, but you can apologize. And you know, he said, I ain't gonna do it. I was like, oh my God, you are missing out on, all they want is for you to admit that you did something wrong. What you did.
Right.
You abandoned those children when you met this new woman, married her, and now you're raising her children that are not yours, and your children feel like you abandoned them, specifically the girls.
And see, I'm glad you said that because once again, to me, it goes to this right here. When I left my first wife, right? And by that time, I think my daughter was about 8. And that was one of the main, I didn't want her to feel like I wasn't in the house no more. You get me?
Right.
And see, I've just observed stuff because the body wasn't there because she was used to mom and dad being there. But because the body wasn't there, I did not want her to feel like daddy abandoned her.
Right.
Because once again, I grew up, all right, Queen. I grew up without a father. So feeling abandoned was there too. Why he don't come looking for me? Why this? Why that? But my mother, I gotta focus back on my mother, right? She told me that she told my father he could never see me no more, but she never told me why. She passed away before I could really, get the answer. So each time I go into that mode of I wonder if he living, why he don't reach out to me, why he don't do this and that, I'll remember what my mother said. So I won't be carrying a resentment or I won't get angry, stuff like that. But if he's still living, I'm 63, he would be about 87. And the reason why I said if he's still living, he gonna owe me a lot of damn child support, and I'm not playing. Let me stop.
No, that's right.
Let me stop. Cause look, sometimes I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I'll be like, if he's still living, be honest, and I know I'm grown. I want to sit on his lap and hug him, Dad. Right. And that's where my mind, that's that little kid.
That's the inner child.
Right. Thank you.
They still need the healing.
Whoa. That's that inner child. And
And that inner child can tear your life apart. I'm telling you.
Whoa! And look, thank you, God. Thank you. Because I'm looking at the work that I was able to do on myself. But now, mind you, when I first got clean 30 years ago, and I started doing some step work, and I pray I don't forget that part you just said. And I started doing some step work. When I got to the fourth step, I had to go inside of myself, right?
And deal with the inner child.
Deal with that inner child.
And that's hard work. You know,
I'm gonna tell you, it was like I was sitting in the living room on the couch, and it was the light was bright. And when I went inside, it's like it got dark. And I went inside of myself. And that little child was like balled up in the corner. And I went over to that little child. And I always said he was about 5, around 4 or 5, right? And the psychic told me the psychic said he was 5. I said about 4 or 5, right? But anyway, somewhere along that line. But I went over to that child as the adult. And I grabbed that child and said, I got your back.
And I bet you've been much better ever since.
That's why I'm able to talk like I do, and then to go into those areas as well, right? Because thanks, Candy, because this is men.
Yeah.
And my goal is to help men get to know themselves.
Yeah.
Right? And the only way, because I remember the old statement, right? If a man don't know where he came from, he won't know where he's going.
And
so
that's any person.
Right, there you go. So I had to get to know Steve. And I share this a lot, right? And to me, it flies over people's heads. I don't know if they actually get it or not, but it seems like it flies over people's heads on other platforms.
They don't consider it because they weren't taught that, and they'll feel like, oh, that's back there. I'm not a child anymore. That child is always with you for your lifetime, specifically when it's experienced trauma, abandonment, and those type of things, childhood issues. Look at your ACE score. See what shaped you to be the way you are, how your parents were, and so forth and so on. So it's work. It's a lot of work.
And look, I love it, right? Because the goal with all that too is to, and I was talking with Gorgeous the other day, and basically I want teenagers, so they can vent. But then I thought about maybe I have the mother, or just the parent too. But now that took me back to the statement that they be playing, right? We listen, but we don't judge. And this is my thing with the parents. You need to learn to listen and be honest with you. Don't get mad, because we grew up, a lot of us grew up, what happens in the house stays in the house, right?
The silencing of the child.
Right. So
taking away your voice.
That's why prompt, giving our youth a voice, right?
Yeah.
And that's the reason why God laid this on my spirit to start the Teen Talk Show, right? And giving them a voice. But now what I was telling her about the parent, and I'm going back to the age limit, because the parents will have to approve them to be able to speak.
Okay, Candace, we got you. I see you.
Yeah, Candy. They would have, because when I had some youths on my program, some of them was like 8, 9, but very intelligent kids, Now I wouldn't ask them nothing deep,
No, of course not.
But now their mentor had brought them down. He would bring them down like every other Saturday. Then my nephew, he would do it the other Saturdays. So we was in rotation for a while. But
and I'm gonna give you this real quick.
Come on.
And I just forgot. The perimenopause, child. But go keep talking. They'll come back around.
No, because you said
it'll take stuff from you in a minute. I'm telling you. You don't want to know.
No, hold up. When you said that, the first thing you made me think about, men go through that too.
Yeah, it's called andropause.
Right.
ANDROPAUSE.
I didn't know. So the moment I was taught that, look, wait a minute, Candy, and I'm gonna let you go. I mean, wait a minute, I'm gonna let Candy talk. But look, the moment you said that, I almost did like this.
Oh, no. See, you gotta stop. Let me see if I can think of it.
Woo!
It was so important.
Look, from the age, wait a minute, Candy, I'm gonna let you go, baby. From the age of 48 to about 52, I think, right? I didn't know what was going on. I was like, what the freak? And look, I'm running around doing this, doing that, and couldn't release. I just didn't know what it was, right?
Yeah.
And I started talking with some older guys, and I was calling it menopause. And it was some older guy. Matter of fact, it was a white man that told me actually what it was. They was a little bit older, so you know you got to learn from your old folks. I said, oh, thank you. So when you
came upon me 2 years ago with this period stuff, I wanted to slap the HELL out of my mama. I was like, why did she not tell? Of course, my mom is dead, but why she didn't prepare me for this? Why didn't any woman in my family tell me that this stuff was gonna hit and I was gonna think I was crazy?
And you making me wonder when I have little stuff fly out your head, dang, is it Neanderthal or something? Because you know I like making jokes out of everything, right?
Yeah.
We
gotta laugh.
I know. And then look, Candy, I'm gonna just say this one, and you can come on and talk. But look, I keep saying it right, but now look, you know, round 50, to be honest with you, men supposed to go and get that colonoscopy, right?
Yeah, colonoscopy.
And I think I got mine a little bit before that, Candy. So look, you know, I was glad they put me to sleep and did what they did. And after they finished, I wanted to tell the doctor, do you still love me?
I know that's right. You've invaded my personal space. You've been all up in all my business.
But look, come on, Candy, you can come off of me. The reason why I say that, right, because I be wanting to tell our young guys, right, boy, y'all wait till you get about 50. When you, cause they be like, I'll share the menopause thing with them, right? Then I'll share the how you got to get the colonoscopy, and then they knock you out, and you question yourself afterwards. I hope that's all you did, man.
I know, right?
All right.
I'm one of those people like I panic if I have to go and have a procedure. I'm like, oh my goodness, because you know I'm a type A personality. I gotta know what's going on at all times. And when they put you to sleep, I remember when I had mine done. It was so funny because I didn't get to say 2 words to them people. I was gone, and then they were waking me up. And I was like, what happened? Oh my! Everything was fine.
I be telling our young guys that they be like, stop, OG. I ain't getting it. I ain't doing it. I'm like, no, go get yourself checked. It's better to know than not to know.
You will go through this process.
Yeah.
If you make it to this side,
come on.
You will go through this process. Mm-hmm.
Come on, Candy. Candy.
She said she might not be able to talk because she at her boyfriend's house. So.
Oh, I knew she had put something, but.
Hey, Candy. What's going on?
Nothing.
We talking about the children.
Oh, yeah. That's what I wanted to let you know, Candy. Is basically we talking about the youth, right? This is the Teen Talk show. Remember, I was trying to tell you. And not only that, I just wanted you to know, because what is it? Daggett. Wait a minute. Basically, we was talking a little bit about school to prison pipeline. Yeah. I'm gonna hurt you.
It is easier to teach a child than to raise a man. And there you go.
Tell Chris if he want to come and listen. Come on. But look, you know.
He's not around right now.
Okay. But look, be honest, and I don't say it like straight out, but when it comes to dealing with, I'm gonna say our men, when it comes to,
You Can't Raise a Man. K. Michelle made a song about it. I have played that song forever, and it is true to life. She was 100% on, and she should have been paid millions for that song. It was brilliant.
And see,
you can't raise a man. You can't do it.
And see, that's why I go back to when my mother told me.
It's easier to heal the child than to raise the man. Yeah.
When my mother told me, she said, men take care of their responsibilities. She never told me like what was my responsibilities or nothing. She never told me. But she did teach me how to cook, how to clean, how to sew. I make market. All the responsibilities to me of an adult. Then I was sitting here earlier and I was thinking about how around about 14, 15, you know, my brothers and them was in prison. I used to go to Hagerstown. I used to go to Jessup to see my brothers and them on these buses and, you know, vans and stuff. I'm like, that was a lot on a child.
It was.
That was a lot. And I was thinking about all that, right? So, in hand, like I said, she never told me, but in a way, she was teaching me.
She was teaching you
how to be an adult at a young age. And I said, Candace, I will never put that pressure on my children.
You are a parentified child.
Yeah. Definitely.
Teach them age appropriate. If you're 10 years old, I don't want you to act like you're 13 or 14, you're only 10.
You 10.
Yeah. Just like my son, he's 22.
Well, I'm gonna relate to something to that. My aunt, she was married. She wasn't just married once, she was married twice. And she had my cousin, and what I hear from her first husband is that he didn't want to step up. He didn't want to be a father. He didn't want to do anything. So she had to leave him. So basically she was raising my cousin by herself, trying to, you know, show him things and stuff like that, until she met someone else, got married, and the person she was, you know, the new person that was in her life, basically was raising my cousin, showing him how to do things, taught him how to get his license and help around the house and stuff like that. But then later on, when my uncle passed away, he passed away from prostate cancer back in 2019. And she was by herself. And my cousin, he doesn't want nothing to do with his mother. And it's so sad. It's so sad to see, because she gave him life. She gave him everything. And he doesn't, you know, he doesn't want to help her. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what I can do. I'm like, you know, she's also a grandmother. And she's, you know, he's got his son. His son is actually special needs. He's got autistic. And she wants to be able to be a grandmother and be able to, you know, see him and stuff. But he doesn't want nothing to do with her. And she's always sad all the time. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. So, I mean, I try my way to try to help her, but I can only do so much. So.
Normally, intervention, you want to kind of speak on that, because y'all know I'm a go personal with it. Not towards the mother though. But come on.
The only thing she can do at this point is apologize. Have a real conversation. She's done that. He's still resentful.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now we gotta go deeper because something happened.
Yeah. The thing of it is.
And Candace, when you said that, the first thing hit me
something happened.
Right. The first thing that hit me was send them to me. Once again, I'm not a fixer. Right. But now
he's not gonna talk to a woman about
right. You took me back when you said it, because I run across a lot of men that had unhealthy relationships with their mother.
Yeah.
Now, because of my nurturing with my mother, I'm going to listen to you now. But whatever happened, and I don't know what happened, and I'm talking about from childhood coming up.
Right.
One thing I learned, I had to learn to let go of those resentments. I had to learn to forgive my own self for how I felt about that bull crap. Whatever happened in the past. I'm just saying, because you don't want to point fingers. Right? Yeah. And I had to accept the fact, whatever happened then, that's what it was. It was in the past. There's nothing I could do to change it. So a lot of times when I'm dealing with men, I have to take them, and women, I have to take them through that process. The same way if I hear a woman say, men, blah, 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 we got to go there. We got to go as far as we can to find out why is those issues there. Mainly when you say men. It's normally you didn't have a healthy relationship with dad, number one.
Right.
He might not have been in your life, so he wasn't there to nurture you the way you probably expected. Because keep in mind, I can tell you personally, my daughters, even when I said intervention, my goddamn stepdaughters, I am their first love. But what hit me later down the line, I had to understand, family, I'm not their biological dad, you know.
Right.
So, but you try to fill that gap, you get me? So the same way I start the methods with the women is the same way I do the men. We got to go back and find out where it began. Because, right, now, if he is not mainly a grandbaby now, you want the grandbaby and the grandmother, you know, or father. You want that. You want that. So
but
if
it's a trust thing, he won't let it happen.
That I'll just see.
Whatever with him has been resolved.
Here's the problem. This is where it comes in. He's always been accusing her of doing drugs, and she's never in her life ever done that. And he's always blaming her for that.
Is he using?
Say that again?
Is he using?
No.
All right, because I don't think it's that.
I don't either. I think that might be his cover.
Yeah.
But he knows that she knows something, and whatever it is that she knows, she's not admitting to it. And he's being nice by maybe saying it's drugs. It might be something way, way worse than that.
Because look,
he won't speak with me. Like
he's
we
not
grew up together.
He's not gonna tell you.
Right. Yeah, we grew up together.
But yeah, I can't. Candace, don't please. I'm sorry, because I didn't mean to jump in like that. Don't take it personal, but he's not. He would, but he's not, because number one, and what I would do, be honest with you, right? With most men, what I have to do sometimes, right? I'm not sure if it happened or not. I'm not, but I believe it did. This 18-month-old baby being choked on the wing. I used to wake up late at night and run to the bathroom gagging. Anyway, to make it short, I believe it was me, right? Then when I think back to my mother said she told my father he could never see me again. I don't know, for some reason this connection was coming. Now, mind you, rather or not, I accepted the fact, because it was between 5 and 6, we was playing. I was real sexual, curiosity, husband, wife.
Definitely a signal.
Right. You get me? And that's what I told the therapist. I said, something ain't right here. Because one, I never did that to a baby. But now playing that with other little girls and all that, right?
Yeah.
And I knew something wasn't right. Intervention. And I talked to the lady, the doctor, and she said, look, the therapist was like, well, you know, sometimes the mind played tricks on you. I said to myself, you can say the fuck you want, something happened to me. And look, because I accepted the fact that there was a good chance.
The body keeps the score. The body.
Right.
You can repress it. You can pretend it didn't happen. You can put it way back in the back of your mind where you'll never get it again. And the mind will do that for you. But the body keeps the score. And that's a book I would suggest that everybody read. The body keeps the score. And
see, that's why some people don't like me. I don't give a freak about me being honest about life in general. That's why my topic is basically my stuff is called keeping life real. Because number one, it's being true to you. You can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to you.
Know thyself and to thy own self be true.
Yeah, and that's written in there too. Intervention.
My stuff. You gonna send me a check? You know, we have to have humor with these things as well.
I know, and see, that's why when I hear people talk about our men, right, and it's not to degrade or it's just to, you know, when I hear them, when I hear that, right, and they make our men seem like they're helpless and hopeless and they're not good to nothing, and I'm like, no, that's not true. That's not true. Because one, if you have somebody that's acting a certain way in life, real destructive,
right? Destructive.
It's normally something internal and it's deep.
It's real deep, and they need someone they can really trust to go in and get it. And what I would suggest to you, Stephen, is EDMR therapy.
Who's that? What's that?
EDMR.
You gotta break it down.
Eye movement and disassociation, where you go back. It's a way they do things to make you. It'll bring things forward that you can't recollect. EDMR.
Don't do that, because guess what? Not. I love what you just said. I do, but you took me back to Miyoki. She's a hypnosis therapist, and you took me back to that when you made that statement, because I have a tendency, and I know you probably got a call intervention. I have a tendency whenever I'm doing my little interviews and everything, Candace, my intake, I evaluate the people. I evaluate you.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I'll zoom in on you because I hear what you're saying. I can hear you very well. But it's something about being attached to your spirit as you talking as well.
Sorry, y'all.
No, that was fine. And I was saying this intervention before you. I was talking about Miyoki. She's a hypnosis therapist, and when you said that, it popped her in my head.
She might be the one to help you with that.
Well, actually, because I talk about a lot of this.
Hypnosis can do the same thing, but
right.
Some people need a more advanced than some people it won't come out in hypnosis. It has to be that EMDR. I said it wrong first. It's eye movement, desensitization, and rapid movement. EMDR.
Well,
because I'm
Hold
sorry.
on.
All right.
That's like my aunt wants to see a therapist, and I'm like, I don't know what a therapist is going to do for you. I mean, all you can do is sit there, talk about it, and they could, whoever it is could lead you in the right direction. But I would think you would need something more than just that.
That depends on what type of therapy they go and get, because there's all different types. So whatever the issue is, she needs to find a therapist that works in that area. Because what was that? That's you, Stephen?
No, that was me.
Oh, okay. The perimenopause coming back in. I forgot how to spell, Stephen. And I was an excellent speller. I promise I was.
And see, intervention, it's because of the 12-step program, right? That I was able to basically go inside and do the necessary work. So anybody that comes in my life, and we're going back to this statement right here, to thy own self be true. And it starts out with communicating. And when I'm working with you, the goal is to help you be honest with yourself. Because it's a spirit. You got to feel it in the inside, right? Being honest with yourself. Not just that, as you got to have faith back in yourself. You got to trust back in yourself. And if you don't feel this, when you do go to somebody like a therapist, counselor, stuff like that, you won't be straightforward.
I got it. Eye movement desensitization.
I'm not good with that, but I'm gonna read up on it because I don't even know why you said that. but I'm gonna read up on it.
You don't know why I said it? I told you why I said it.
I know you looking at my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and it does the thing with the eyes where you watch something, you pick out a spot on the wall and you just move your eye toward it while they're going to talk you through it. It's like taking you back into your childhood. And
are you telling me I'm sorry, are you telling me to learn that to help somebody?
You can get a certification in that. But I would suggest you go and do your own first before you get a certification, because it's real work. I
love it. I love it. Anything, to be honest, that I can be educated with myself, because the goal is to feed it back, you know. And
Lord, I still put it in the chat wrong. Look at the menopause.
Ain't nobody messing with you. She said I put it in there wrong. But yeah, I learned that. I mean, Candace, we're not trying to take away from what you saying. I've learned that through the 12-step program. And I had to get to know Steve. I had to get to the root cause of why did I reach out towards, all that. And once I was able to do that with the prayer, with the meditation, all of that, right, is how I work with our people. And I'm definitely going to look into that too. How I work with our people. But now, one of the reasons I was telling Intervention too.
There we go. I fixed it.
All right, I got you. I move it desensitization.
Reprocessing. The second one. Don't look at
the you got my mind like.
You gotta look at
because when I looked at the desensitization.
Because it takes you to a space where you're in a safe. You gotta be in a safe space with somebody you really trust. I ain't doing this, Steve.
No, I love it. I love it. Ooh, I love it. That's why I'm saying that.
The thing about it is, our community, and you know what I mean, Stephen, we don't do what we don't get. We've never gotten what we needed. And now we're so resistant to, even though it's available. I'm going to try to say to like you. We're so resistant to anything new. We call it something it's not. But it's because we don't know any better and we didn't get what we needed. So many of us, and I weep for the children, and I weep for the men.
Yeah.
Because like I was telling you about this situation, this dude, I'm trying to help him, and he cussed me like a dog. And I knew he was attacking his mother. It wasn't me. I had nothing to do with it. He was attacking his mother, but because I was safe for him, I was his mother at that moment. And I can't be that for you, sweetheart. I cannot. You're not going to abuse me as an adult. But you need to talk to someone.
And you heard Candy what she just said. And I recognize that too. With the men and the women. With the men and the women, right? When you tend to go for the neck.
Relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That inner child, that little boy is running amok. It's like, you know how to and I compare it to this, and I don't know if you know about this, but you know I'm a history person. I love to learn new things. And I was watching a documentary about elephants. And they were having such a problem because people going over there killing the elephants, the older elephants, for their trunks, for the eyes. And then the baby elephants, the males, because there's no elder man elephants, the older man elephants. I don't know if you call them a man or a male, whichever. Okay. Because there weren't enough in there to bring those young elephants, and they call them a word, and I can't think of it right now, to raise them properly. They were running rogue. And you do not want an elephant, because you know how much an elephant, even a baby elephant, weighs. Now imagine a teenage elephant. He's running rogue, tearing up, destroying everything. And the female elephants can't do anything about it. So what they did was brought other elephants from another area, other male elder elephants, to get them young rogue elephants back in line. And that's y'all's job.
And you know, I was getting ready to say you
I hit the nail on the head.
even you use with the
Gotcha.
even when you said elephant, right? It took me to
You
elders.
know
It took me to elder, and it's so true because
The elder.
yeah, the elderly, yeah, it
And
is
they
so
told me They
true.
were running amok. They were just
Mhm.
destroying, just tearing up stuff. They were going into villages and tearing down, you know, people's houses. They were running amok. And nothing could stop them, because who gonna stop an elephant? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's gonna do that?
And know what?
You gonna put-
Know
they was
know what,
supposed to do
Candace?
one foot.
And what she's saying, Candace, right? I sent a
You
comment.
see what uh-huh.
Yeah, I sent a comment the other day about being a community organizer, and it was a statement that was made about a police pupil. And I was telling the community, you know, because a lot of times we want to point the fingers. And I understand all that. But if we learn to gain control back over the community, and because people running amok. So 9 times out of 10.
And that's where that statement comes from about the elephants running amok.
Yep. And basically everything she said, the scenario is there. Because when you don't have well-rounded or qualified men to actually teach them, and that's what I had to learn, because most of the men that taught me, Candace, they was rotten, no good. Like, no, they was responsible and productive, but it was just going off of old information. Right.
And you didn't need exposure to that.
Right. And see, that's thank you. Because once again, you know, when Steve talked about Steve, I have a tendency of sharing that old stuff with the old information, and then I'll share the new stuff now. And this is how I had to raise Steve and basically show my daughter something totally different.
Yep. You're gonna have to do that.
And that's why I do what I do, family, because now that you like learn from your mistakes, you know, you want to help others. And I'm not sad about nothing I've done, because whatever happened in the past happened. That's my past experience. That's history, right? But that's what I share with people when we talk about the knowledge, the wisdom, as an older gentleman now, as somebody who's awake. You know what I mean? This is the goal with me when it comes to encouraging and motivating people. But for some, no, I'm not going to do that. I was going to say sometimes they might not like the way I come out my mouth with certain things, but that's that goddamn going disciplinary. But Candy, people would take it the wrong way. I'll be like, no, I want the best for you. I want rah, 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 rah. But they be like, oh, something wrong with him. Yeah, because he loved too much. He want the best for you, and you're reading into it wrong. You know, but yeah, it sounds like it's something deeper, Candy.
Yeah, way much.
Yeah.
Way much.
Yeah, because my mother was an alcoholic. I think I can say that word on TikTok.
Yeah.
And be.
You say them other words because they reprogrammed the algorithm to pick up other things than the words that we've been using.
Okay.
Remember I told you that the other night?
Right. And I started that around 13. So actually I became one too. And my mother was a crying alcoholic. I became a crybaby too. But look, I can't blame her, because that was her problem. You know, that was her issues. Whatever went on with her, because I had carried it for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And I had to let it go.
You were exposed to it, and
Yeah.
then because it was there, it became a part of who you were as well.
Yeah.
And I apologize for that on her behalf. I do.
And thank you, because you know what? As I began, once I began to do work, Candace, I had to own up to my stuff, my mistakes, whatever issues my mother had in her life, you know, with men or whoever. That was her stuff.
Yeah.
I couldn't, and if you're not careful, here you go right here. Parents, your kids will take on your trauma. And I was carrying her trauma. until I got clean. And when I got clean, I realized that's not my stuff. And I had to give it back. Hey, Tashawn, I had to give it back. That was her stuff. You know,
but most people don't even know it's a thing, so how they gonna give it back? You see what I'm saying? They don't even know what's going on really, because they hadn't taken the time to know thyself and to their own self be true. And I dealt with, clients, of course, substance users all the time, and that's what they end up doing. By the time we got to what was really the real problem, they were crying like babies.
Yeah, that's something else I wanted to say too. And I'm looking at the men, right? Say like if it's 10 of us sitting around.
Mm-hmm.
And remember what I shared about the 18-month-old baby. I'll do that to break the ice. I'll do that to break the ice. And next thing you know, somebody else starts sharing it. Yeah. And next thing you know, a group of us, we might be sitting there crying because I call it the pressure relief, right? They've been carrying all of this pressure for the longest time. Falling up, and some of them acting the way they acting. So I call it the pressure relief, right? That's what the 4-step talks about anyway. Releasing that pressure. And once you get somebody to at least be honest about themselves, and I'm talking about a man. Normally the women are more easier, but normally the men, you gotta come in with something to get them to trust you and break it.
You got to gain their trust. Yeah, women are easier for the most part. And
that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to gain their trust.
Yeah. Yep. You got to gain trust.
And now, mind you, it's only because of the work, and I got to go back to self. It's only because of the work that I was able to do on me. Mm-hmm. And my first sponsor, he told me, he said, Steve, it's something about you. He said something special about you. And about, getting to know you. Mm-hmm. Because once you take that time out to become selfish and self-centered. Yeah, thank you. Because when I went there, right, everything became about me, because it was the recovery process. So once I was able to discover how to recover, I began to give it back. So I became selfish, centered, and then I was able to become selfless because it wasn't about me no more. And a lot of times when I open up my mouth and I let y'all into my personal world, people don't realize it's not about me no more. And that's the way, not just me doing this. Oh, Candy, you drop. It's not just me doing this, but helping other people.
Things going on with Chris and his mom, I think. So she had put it in the chat.
Yeah.
So I understand.
Thank you. Yeah, because I can't see it unless I come close up on it.
Right. And that's okay. I got you.
So and this is what I don't want to just say, God dang it. I'm trying to get better in some cases of saying we, right? But
okay.
Right. I was getting ready to say, but look, I'm come on, I was taught. And then, because I'm thinking about some people be saying, oh, he making it all about him. And I'll be like, you daggone right. Do you know the work it took to get here?
Get this stuff out.
Yeah. And helping other people to realize it's okay.
It brings up your stuff when you're in the middle of helping someone else.
Yeah. Because
you haven't dealt with, they are going to come to hunt you. And I'm going to tell you this. My aunt came to visit me this year in May. She hadn't been to my town or my state in over 10 years. She finished working on our grandparents' cabin in another city. And she came, she said, I'm coming to see you. We're going to do something together, blah, blah, blah. And she came and we went on our activity and she stayed a couple of nights. And then she had to go and visit with some friends and things like that. The next day, I was sitting here on my Chase Lounge and I fell asleep. And I kept hearing something at my back door. I was like, I don't know nobody at the back door. It was like I was having an open vision. And then I saw this little girl come through my kitchen into my living room. And I was like, no, because you don't live here. I don't know what that lingering was that she brought with her, but I had to get that out of my house. Because it was torturing. I can feel the torture in the movement of it coming into my house. Like, oh, you ain't gonna let me in? I'm coming in anyway. That was the attitude of this little girl that was skipping in this little white dress. I saw her whole everything, and I was like, no, get out. That was her little girl coming to find her. She ain't here. You gonna find her somewhere. I don't know where she at.
And know why I'm looking like this?
Why?
Because a lot of times when I talk with clients one-on-one, we go into those spaces.
Yep.
And
you know I'm not lying.
Right, yeah. And the whole thing too, Candy, and I want you to understand this. A lot of times people are dealing with, I don't actually want to say psychological issues, but it could be a spiritual journey.
It sure
right.
can.
Yeah.
You knew I was finna go there.
Yeah, I was trying to find the words because when I sit and talk with you, I have a tendency of connecting to your spirit. That's just a gift, right?
Oh, it's automatic.
Yeah. And it's to decipher, mainly if I know God is speaking with you to move you in another direction in your life. Because once he go here, it can make you feel like you're losing your mind and stuff. It can. So I tend to, when I deal with people, for me, I have to evaluate certain things. Yeah. And it's certain things I will tell them too, mainly when they get ready to go to the therapist. Do not share such and such and such, because they will diagnose you with issues in that area. Yeah. You get me? Yeah. So I know exactly what you're talking about. You can't tell them that. Right. Right. And spiritualists to work those things out with. And it right. So now like right now the stuff we're talking about, I don't go but so deep. But once we one-on-one and I see where you're actually at, and I have to help you understand that if your mind is racing or certain things that's happening to you, I have to help you understand that spiritual insight that God is giving you. Don't block that. You're not, nothing is wrong with you, like on that level, mentally, emotionally, in that way. But now, sometimes when your mind is racing to a certain degree like that, they might have to give you something to balance it, because you speeding in your mind. So sometimes you might have to get something to bring it down so you can hear it more in a softer way. That it feel like
doing any pharmacology though, because when they give you those medicines, again, that's going in the record.
Right now, that's why. Thank you, and that's why I said you have to watch certain things, right? Yeah. That's the reason why intervention. I went back there because the same therapist at that time, Candace, that said, "Oh, the mind played tricks on you." My thing is, you say what you want. Now, when I was younger, I knew I had a calling on my life. Let me put it like that. I was telling my sponsor, right, that when I was living on Clifton Avenue, I went out. From doing the smugs and stuff, I went out. And I told him, I said, the devil and God was arguing over my body. Then I said, no, something hit me later and said it was Gabriel. And they was arguing over my body, but God brought me back, real simple. I knew it was something different about me way from back then. I knew it, right? And it wasn't until I got clean that I became obedient to the calling. And I've been saying it for the longest time, and I was telling my sponsor, I said, God has called me to the ministry. God is calling me to the ministry. But I told him, I said, but I don't know where he want me at, right? But I knew once I got into the church, I got really involved into the church because I was trying to find where God want me at to serve him. Did a little bit of everything in the church. Got on the acting ministry, the singing ministry. Let me stop. But got all into that, right? To find out where he want me at. one of the ministers came by me. I was going through some stuff at home, and he came by me and he said, "You know what? You're a good man, blah, blah, blah. I want you to come to the deacon ministry." And I looked up at him and I wanted to tell him, "Who you think you is? You ain't God. You don't be telling me what to do, blah, blah, blah." I said, "Okay." No, because I said, "Okay, look, I wanted to say it right, but it was like, okay." So that's where I started. But look, deep down inside, now watch this, Candace and family. Deep down inside, right? Even though I was an ordained deacon, I became an ordained deacon. I know in my spirit I'm a minister for Christ. That's just the title. Mute up, Craig.
There's a train going by. I'm on mute.
I thought it was Craig. Look. That's why when y'all hear me say, I'll say the title now, don't get it wrong. But I know deep down in my spirit, I am a minister for Christ. You get me? And can't nobody take, that's what the Spirit called me to do. So I'm only saying it because you have to know you. You have to know you, your purpose, your mission. And it goes back to that statement once again. If a man don't know where he came from, he won't know where he's going. And right now, I'm telling you, at 63, to me, right? To me, I'm not lost. And then I'm on the other side now, so I'm hitting downhill. Intervention, it's okay. It's okay. Cause look, and I'm gonna let Craig or Candace, one of y'all can go ahead and talk after this. Look, this guy named Lane, I'm gonna lay his butt out. I was up like 3, 4 in the morning. He gonna talk about that old man need to go to sleep because he got on his Depends. I said, I'm gonna slap the mess out you with my goddamn on Depends. You know what he's talking about? You know he's talking about the diaper. Oh so look, I'm like, he talking about, I said, I ain't there yet. But I'm waiting to tell him, I'm telling him so bad, I'm waiting to tell him, Craig, remember that other day when you said I had on Depends? You do it again. I ain't there yet. I ain't trying to get there no time soon.
Exactly.
You get me? So I said, wait till I talk with Lane, because every time I pop up on Ron's show, he'll drop. But I said, I can't wait to tell his butt again, because we cracked up that night. He talking about that old man need to go to sleep and need to change his Depends. I said, boy, I'll slap the mess out you with my... Come on. Come on, Craig, if you wanted to talk, bro.
Nah, really, I don't know how to work this. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't know how to work.
No, just go ahead.
Okay.
Just talk. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm out here in California working. Yeah, and I just look at you from time to time, and it's a pleasure to see you out there doing some positive stuff in the neighborhood, man. And I'm so proud of you, man. And to tap in and say that I'm tired, man. I ain't got much to say. I'm on my way to Maryland from California. I got 2,600 miles, and then I'll be heading home for the holiday. But, man, we doing some stuff outside of the program, outside of going to meetings. We finally did what the predecessors say, man. Go out there and make a life for yourself instead of just being in the meetings all day long like we had to do at one point in time. But now we done invested in our recovery, man, and we can go out here and do some stuff in the world and help some people who ain't made it to the meeting yet. And, be on some positive settings, man, without breaking our anonymity. And it's a good thing, man. It's a good thing, man. I'm finally living, man. I'm finally living all across the world. Got a nice house in South Carolina, doing good, being productive, just a lot of good stuff. Taking care of my grandkids, taking care of my wife, being a son to my mother, showing up for people in the neighborhood. Man, just a lot of good stuff going on. And I hold on to that place we become Man. I love Buffalo, man. I love Buffalo, man. I always love Buffalo. I'm proud of you, man. You keep on doing what you're doing, man. And don't even pay the haters no attention. You got too many people that help, man. Don't even give them no feedback, bro. Let God scare your enemies, man. And you
yeah. You going in and out, Craig. It's probably because of the area you in. Craig, come close. It's you going in and out. Yeah, I can't see. It might be your internet. Come on, talk. Man, you sound like me. You driving, yeah. Yeah, you sound like you rode, man.
Way back from California. I'm trying. I'll call you, man. Send me your number, man, because in February I'm gonna get my own truck, man. I need to talk to you about them.
Okay.
Send me your number, man.
All right, make sure you send me a follow, and then we can switch. Do everything. But thanks, man. You took me right back to our predecessors and all that. You hear me, Craig? And I'm gonna tell you just what Craig said. Intervention. We supposed to go back. I'm sorry, Craig, because you still going in and out. We supposed to get back and basically back into the community and help build back up. Everything Craig just said. Everything. Everything.
Go back and bring it back up.
And
I understand that.
And Craig, what got me when Craig said that? Don't too many people say that. Because I know a lot of people that's in recovery, like Craig saying, they're not back in the community. They're not. I can't knock them, right? I can't knock them. I try not to knock them at all, Craig. But we came from that, and the goal is to go back and rebuild, correct the mistakes that we made. So Craig took me back.
Right. But isn't it kind of hard for some people to do that because it's like a trigger going back to where you came from?
Well, I wanted to say not really, but it can be for some. Come on, DJ.
Yeah.
Reason why I'm saying that, because basically what we try to do is you got to learn to stand back up where you fell. You get me?
Yeah.
And that's why when Craig came up, he took me back to the old stuff. You know what I mean? So basically, even with a lot of our recovery programs and stuff like that, people don't understand why they are in the inner city. Because wherever you fell at, right, you have to learn to stand back up. All right, Craig. I mean, DJ, thanks. I was going to try to tell you when we was on What's Your Name platform to come over, but I didn't. I was trying to throw a hint to you to come over, right? But I ain't want to advertise, on her platform like that. But yeah. And basically, to kind of catch you up, DJ, we talking a little bit about this, like my teen talk show, right? Just to give you an idea, because I know you family oriented. So this is like the teen talk show, and just to give you an idea. But another thing we was talking about, DJ, if you are familiar with that, is the school to prison pipeline. Just so you'll have an idea of the conversation as well. You get me?
Yeah. The pretty much using kids and the private, funding for prisons and private owners of prisons and stuff like that.
And look, what's his name? Ben Crump. He brought my attention to this too, family. Listening to Ben Crump, and he came to Baltimore. Vaughn. I'm trying to think of the I call him Dr. Vaughn, right? Actually, they sued the school board. Some people came together and sued the school board for not properly educating our children, and that's why Ben Crump came here. And it had me focus on what is really happening. And every time, y'all, when I open up my mouth, and I'm gonna say this, when I go back to Exodus, right? When God told Moses to go tell Pharaoh, let his people go. And not only that, because it always take me back to that area, right? When Pharaoh told the midwives, all the firstborn males, take them out, right? So every time I look at the school to prison pipeline, and people think a lot of stuff just started now, it originates from that too, because the goal is to wipe them out. Real simple, to wipe them out. And God had me see it, right, as it trickled on down, and it's something that's been in play for the longest time. It's by design. And that's what I was starting to look at. Now, it's not to say,
Give me a minute.
all right, Candy, it's not to say that other children are not being affected by it, and I'm talking about cultures, but it's basically talking about how it's designed for the Black culture. No matter how you read it, it goes right to that. Because the goal is, the more outrageous they begin to act, destructive like, and then when you look at the prison system itself, that's that big old slave plantation, DJ. So they preparing them. If you don't properly educate them right, they're going to go out there and commit crimes. They're going to do things to survive. You get me? And they will be there. They will be there. So I'm only sharing this, family, because when you getting involved in certain things in life, wanting to help people as well, you have to do your work and understand where it's coming from. Where it's coming from. So basically, when you catch people like us, DJ, Candy, Intervention, who wants to go back and work with the people, we're nothing but you know how the people out there with the mics in their hands or the bullhorn, and we just warning people, we educate them, and that's how I see it. That's why I tell people, you don't have to give me a bullhorn, because if I'm in front of the mic 9 times out of 10, I'm going back like this, because once I start talking, I'm going to go and I get real loud, and people be like, I don't know why you got to get loud. That's how I speak out. I don't know why you got to get loud. I speak.
You know, I was going to bring up too, I don't know if many of you are listen to different like pastors and stuff like that. I basically was listening to, it's been a while. I was listening to Joel Osteen. I was listening to one of his things he was talking about. He was talking about like God puts people on earth that are angels, that they're there to help people. Now, I don't know how 100% if that's true or not.
It's true. It's true. Joel Osteen, right? I used to listen to him a lot early on, until I was able to stand up on my own. I used to listen a lot to Creflo Dollar. And I've been listening to Creflo Dollar on and off for the past 32 years. When I first got clean, I've been listening to him that long. I didn't know we was that close in age though. But I've been listening to him, and the reason why I'm saying that, because they your circuit pastors. Those are the ones that's under certain church. Well, I'm looking at the big churches. That's all. I'm trying to get to the word of the mega churches, right? Yeah. And in saying this stuff like that, they teach very well. And a lot of people tend to look at them and they expect for them to be perfect. They're not perfect. Joel Osteen, Creflo Dollar, TD Jakes. It's a lot of big.
I even listen to Joyce Myers.
I was trying to get her name. Joyce Myers. I was trying to get her name, because these are people that started out or took over other people's churches. And I think Joyce Myers got to that point of the mega church. I don't know if she started out with her own little thing and it began to grow like that. You get me? And that's I'm not too sure of it because she was huge when I met her back then. But just to see them grow like that, what I started seeing, Candace, when you have people who say like might start out with 12 people, like my pastor, then he went from 12 to 2,000. Then he went from 2,000 to like 6,000. They had to get a bigger building, right? Yeah. The more the people started coming because of the word, and 9 times out of 10, if not just that your pastor is teaching or preaching a good word, if he's somewhat of a living example, you'll feel it and you'll come, even if they fall short. That's why a lot of people don't understand. Well, they didn't made a mistake here, or they didn't did this, they didn't did that. You need to leave. You need to do this. You need to do that. Most people that will run off, be honest with you, because they got in their head that person is perfect. Mm-hmm. They're not perfect.
Yeah. I don't mean to cut you short.
Come
I
on.
have to hop off because I'm getting ready to go to a party.
Okay. I just wanted you to come over a little bit.
If you're on later, I'll hop back on.
All right. Well, with this, be honest, I'm starting out with this, and then later I'll switch it, because the reason why I say that, as long as TikTok don't ban me for something, I like to make little clips of our conversations. You know that, and send it back over.
All right, I gotta hop off.
Okay, go ahead, baby. Love you.
Have a good night.
All right, you too. So this is the whole point, family, of us educating the community, talking about certain things, right? And not just sticking to the problem, because in reading that intervention, to go back to, I see you, to go back to the prison, the school to prison pipeline. School to prison pipeline. You already know what's happening, right? And then they started talking about ways and means to break it. So anytime you reading something or you studying something or you understand a crisis, and remember when we went to the recreation centers, how they cut out a lot of the programs that they had for our youth to keep them occupied. And I'm going to tell you this too, and y'all need to stop. Even though a lot of our children are on iPads, computers and stuff like that, if they're on it, you as a parent, mainly because of certain ages, you need to put them, you need to go on there and fix it where they will be on programs that will train them.
Yeah, they need to go in the settings and make it, content that are more for their age group.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. Because guess what? And I'm glad you said the content, because even in my settings, it'll ask me basically the parental settings for the children, just what she said. And I'm looking at my daughter, right? And when I talk with her, now mind y'all, my grandbaby 2 years old. A, B, C, D, E. And I'm looking at her the other night. She at the dining room table, dipping her little brush in the cause she over there coloring. I mean, doing the paint thing. I'm like, look at her.
Yeah. See,
this is the stuff that a lot of parents aren't doing. Real simple, right? Like some of us be saying. But the thing is to better educate your children. And if you don't know how to read and write and do things for yourself, you can always get them tutorers.
Yes.
Y'all don't talk about stuff like that. They still have people out there, educators that retired, that then put programs together, don't have a problem with helping to educate you and your child, so that way if you're not good at reading and all this type of stuff, right, to help your children with their homework, you have programs out there and you have tutors out there that will tutor you as a parent to help your child. The same way they did when we was coming up. They still have them. Just like we still have, all right. Just like we still have like parenting classes. They won't tell you all about that because they want a lot of our marginalized people to feel helpless and hopeless. To make you think that it's nothing you can do for your child. To make you think that it's nothing you can do for that returning citizen or that ex-felon. Because they want them. And that's what I begin to realize in this process too. When you have a returning citizen, and I'm trying to think of that other name, right, for the ones that come home, DJ, and end up going right back. Repeated offenders. The reason why you have repeated offenders because nobody educated them. So if you don't help turn this around, if you don't help them change their old ways of doing things, and I'm talking about even with our children, when you know they're running off of unhealthy behaviors, if you don't start teaching them right, you can teach them the morals, the values, the principles, the qualities, basically we call it the difference between right and wrong, right? You can teach them as they coming up, morals, values, principles, the good quality of life. You gave them something at least to live by when they, to practice when they out there. Some of them going to practice it when they run across some hard stuff as far as trying to be part of the game. Some of them going to practice it to avoid peer pressure. Some of them might not practice it to become part of the peer pressure. The same things with little Steven. I can only tell y'all as a parent, I had to make sure, because I know my son is a good kid. I didn't want him to be one of them kids, DJ, that because your friend's doing this and that you feel obligated to do it too. No. And if anybody threatened my son to become a part of whatever they was doing, and he told dad had to address it. Not just me, his mother would address it too. Because we come from the streets, so we did not want our children to live and practice the same bull junk we did. Mainly little Steve. I'm not, my daughters, they was basically straight. And if you told me straight out that my daughter or my son hit you, you was lying. I'm talking about like if an adult or somebody like that. And even now, we taught our kids how to protect themselves if somebody came for them. But for them just to go around banging and beating on kids, no. So if you told me that my child, because I had a teacher say, tell me he bad, he scared me. I said, no, not him. I said, I'm the one you need to watch out for, lying on my son. Because he wasn't raised as far as, like we was back in the days, if somebody hit you, the family jumped on them, all this type of stuff. And I was always taught, as other than when I started getting older, I would never swing on you. I would never swing on you. But if you threatened me and I felt like you was somewhere along that line, yes, I came for you. Because I was in the game. I was in the game. I got into the game. That's why I'm glad I don't live like that no more, because I always say stuff like, a monkey cannot sell bananas. Because I was the monkey eating the bananas. And how can I say it, that mentality when it came to my children, my nieces and my nephews that I raised in the process too. We had to start showing them something totally different. We had to protect them and keep them away from certain things. When I first got clean, I remember my niece, my sister, oldest daughter, right? She was like, Dad, why my mother can't stay clean like you? Why she got to keep doing this? Why she got to keep doing that? And I had to talk with them. I basically raised them. They 45 now. I believe her sister's about 43. My nephew that I raised as well, they call me his father, he's about 40. Now, in a way, DJ, can y'all understand why I do what I do when it comes to the couch talk, keeping life real, to thy own self be true? If you want to come up on the platform, my goal is let's talk about life. We can always touch on certain little, say like crises or issues that might be going on in our lives, in the community, stuff like that. We can always touch on it because that's the way I was taught through the 12-step process. Talk a little bit about it, then go into the solution. What we can do to slow things down. Some stuff we are going to be able to stop. Some stuff we're not. But with all of that, and I learned in these past 63 years, whatever we can't stop, we can slow it down. It's a process. It takes work. But people got to be willing to do the necessary work to slow a lot of it down or even bring it to a halt. A lot of times when y'all hear Big Steve talk, I'm not talking about your middle class people. I'm not talking about your conservative people. And I know everybody have issues, don't get it wrong. But 9 times out of 10, when you live in a more conservative lifestyle, in a more productive area, less threatening, you tend to put your children into programs because now you're around centers that have like programs where they teach like modeling, tap dancing, soccer, lacrosse, which most of your kids in the inner city play what? Football, basketball, baseball. A lot of them are not playing soccer, inner city kids, lacrosse, cricket, stuff like that. So when y'all hear me talk about the Teen Talk Show, then when you hear me talk about the multi-purpose centers, right? Yeah, I said centers. Is to have these programs in there. Music, art, theater, dancing, soccer, lacrosse, golf, all of that normal, your average Black child might not play in the community, in your inner city. Lake Clifton was one of the areas we was looking at too, to play golf for the inner city youth. So all you gotta do is get some land. Get some land. You can make it out of field, right? Now you might can't do the soccer field with your baseball field. So you have to put your soccer field somewhere else where you can do the lacrosse, where you could do volleyball, where you could do all of that because you need a certain turf for that. How do I know this? Because my son plays soccer. And they know how to come in, clear that goddamn grass from, if they don't smooth it out, right? They know how to clear the grass and lay the turf that looks just like grass. I'm only giving back information, family. I'm only giving back information that was freely given to me. And the way I work with the business, right? That's all I got to do is start it. I'm an LLC. That's all I have to do is start it, even with the recreation center. That's all I have to do is start it. Because guess what? If you are the professional to be able to teach football, basketball, cricket, lacrosse, because this is your profession, I can hire you to come in and teach. So all I got to do is get the space. That's all. And the other day, somebody was saying something to me, DJ, like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing as far as when it comes to business-wise, right? I research up on all of this. I don't have to have a license. That's all I got to do is provide the space. You're the one. If you're going to come in, if you're a coach and you can teach, you're the one that have to come in to show that you are certified to teach football, basketball, soccer, all that good stuff. I read up on all of this. The same way with my housing program. That's all I got to do is prepare the space for you to lay your head. Because now I'm going to provide clients for whatever your profession is. I'm going to provide the clients because if you are a PRP and you are licensed, I can give you clients because you get paid through Medicaid. And anybody that's a PRP, a counselor, a therapist, and they got their degree or they certified, and this is your profession, you already know when you working with clients, right, that gets Medicaid, and it happens to do with something along that line. That's how they make their money. And you can do your own private practice where most of the time it's people insurance that pay for the services. And I'm only saying this because it was a conversation that was had the other night. About business. And I was trying to explain to them as well that a referral is another word for contract. So if I refer clients to you for your business, that's like us doing a contract together. If you're successful and you do a great job for that healthcare provider, I'm going to say mental health care provider, if you provide all the services in there like a PRP, like a therapist, like a psychiatrist, it goes uphill to help the clients. I can hire you to service the clients. It ain't you hiring me. And if I feel as though you're not giving my clients the proper help that they need, I will exclude your service and move them somewhere else. I've done it. So I'm only sharing this, right, because when it comes to our youth, And I think what tends to happen to a lot of adults, right? They forget that at one point they was children too, right? They was children, and now they're grown. So what tends to happen, if you look back over your life when you was a child coming up, look at the changes of growing up that it took. Then you have to look at your children. You don't expect for a 2-year-old to act like a 5-year-old. And listen to the word I said, act. They're not 5. They can only act from where they at. You don't expect for a 5-year-old to act. They will act, I'm sorry, like they're more older than what they are or more mature than what they are. They're not. They're not. Wait a minute, Celeste. So this is what get me with us as parents sometimes, right? And for me, God have a tendency, he'll take me back down, that process of coming up. So you know how to work with people accordingly. You get me? Dang, Celeste, you drop. But anyway, thanks, Celeste. And this what he does. He just take me through a process of looking back at life and how I lived and how I was able to come certain things, right? Situations in life. So that's why the Teen Talk Show came about too. Gorgeous, I was looking for her to come over because she was telling me about another guy on TikTok that started. I think he has a show that he talks about, deal with teens, right? And we do have, I know a lot of brothers in Baltimore City and women that works with our youth. And the reason why I'm saying this is because most of them I see working with the youth, I don't see too many of them like with a talk show, right? Where we can have them talk about certain things to the point, just to make them just have that outlet. You get me? Because I don't want to go too deep with certain things. But other than that, y'all already know. A lot of our kids at home being great, being abandoned. Being abused. They suffering in silence. But then when they act out in certain behaviors, right, y'all gonna wonder, well, why they acting like this? Why they acting like that? It's a deeper issue. I tell our politicians that all the time. You got to get to the root cause of why people act the way they act. And I'm talking about our children too. You got the juvenile system, right? If you are not counseling them or mentoring them, as far as structuring them to be able to go inside and be honest about why they are acting out with certain behaviors. And some of them can't tell you why, they just doing it. But it's still, once again, it's a process of going there. And a lot of times we just don't want to do the necessary work on helping little Jimmy or helping little Erica. Anytime you got a child, teenager, or anybody that acts out in a destructive manner, and you might tell yourself, well, I can't figure out why they do this, I can't figure out why they're doing that. You don't have to figure it out. You can just look and tell it's something major deep down inside of here if they don't have automatically psychological issues, mental health issues. If you took them to get evaluated and they were diagnosed with certain mental behaviors, yes, now you can understand why. But now that you understand what it is and where it's coming from, you want to learn how to cope with it. What I mean when I say cope with it, learn intervention programs or solution ways and means to at least slow the behavior down or gain control over it. Some type of control. So I'm gonna get ready to end this, right? And this is the B Moores Real Teen Talk Show. And for TikTok reason, right, that I want to say this because I think her name was Betty. She came up the other day and we had a little screaming match. And I wanted, and anyway, once we calmed down, we both from Baltimore City. We know a lot of the same people. Anyway, right? And I thank God she hung around so that we talked a little bit about the same neighborhoods and people and all that. But anyway, that's what happens once you shut your mouth and listen and learn. But the reason why I'm saying that, family, because we talked a little bit about like our childhood, raising our children now, being proud of what we're doing as community activists and stuff like that, right? We just talked a little bit about all of that. Let me turn my light on because it's getting dark over here. Yeah, it's starting to get dark on my restream camera. But look, and this is just something, family. The Teen Talk Show on Saturdays. I'm gonna switch the time up to 3 because it seemed like I fixed it for 2 and I'll end up running late. But I want to fix it for 3 until we're able to actually broadcast it on the regular, right? And the couch conversation, and I didn't want to throw the conversation in with this, but it's the same with that because I want to be able to start my shows just like I used to, on time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I want to start sticking to my 45 minutes. But then a lot of times when I get on here and I'll start talking about certain things, it gets real interesting to me. So I might go further than just the 45 minutes. I don't know. I might start coming on and do the 45 minutes, then end the show and start it back up. I'm going to suggest it to some people and see what they think. Because I do want to stick to my regular 45 minutes for both shows. Now, even with the Teen Talk Show, keep in mind, because I keep thinking about people like Oprah Winfrey and them. They started out like this, maybe not at home, because what I'm looking at is a studio and all that too. But they started out small and they began to grow over the years. They begin to earn money for their talk shows, talking about good topics and stuff. So get where I'm going. Get where I'm going. But if not, guess what? Just to be able to come up here and to be able to talk about B Moore's Real Teen Talk Show, giving our youth a voice, just to put it out like this. And then to have a time frame, because somebody somewhere need to hear it. You might have a parent somewhere or a child somewhere that's blind or something like that, disabled. I apologize for that word. Disabled, right? They can't move about like this. Sometimes they need to hear certain things and say, oh, Mr. Steve, come on, talk about this. I'm going to try to, go on this show so I can just vent, talk about certain things. This is what's going on with me, Mr. Steve. And they looking for certain help. Their parents might not be in the house and they need an outlet. And a lot of times what we have a tendency of doing, right, we're so closed-minded and so private with our own stuff because you don't want to share certain things that can encourage and embrace somebody else Then you want to turn around and knock somebody for at least trying to speak out and help. We need to stop that. Everything is not meant, we already know, for you to do. In that sense, I was going to say for everybody, everything is not meant for everybody, but everything is not meant for everybody to do. I'm not going to shut my mouth for none of y'all. I want to make that clear. I'm not going to shut my mouth. If I'm called to speak somewhere, Steve, if I am called somewhere to speak on a topic, I have no problem. If I'm called somewhere to speak on a certain issue that we're having in Baltimore City, and if I have some experience in it, but I'm out of it, why not share it with people the same way when people do these events and stuff? When they become circus speakers, coaches and stuff like that. Some of them are very educated in those areas because they studied, they did their research, they got their doctorate. Then you take somebody like me that had personal experience, y'all think he don't know what he's talking about. Who walked through the process, who lived it. Who used to be a teenager, a young adult, who lived through his 20s, his 30s, his 40s, his 50s. Oh, but he don't know what he's talking about. Now in his 60s. Oh, he don't even know what he's talking about. He ain't got no license, he ain't got no doctorate degree. Where you think they learn a lot of this stuff from? To become certified, to get their doctorate degree. Who do you think they learned a lot of this from? How did they get this information to be able to put them in computers, to be able to put them in search, for people to be able to do their essays, or for people to be able to do their schoolwork and search certain things up? Where you think they get a lot of that information from? One day that hit me. One day that hit me. Like when people do statistics and all that type of stuff, you're looking up other people's information that they put there. Now check this out. Twitter. They don't have to take people like me and sit down with them who used to use, who don't use no more, who can tell you why they did what they did, so that they can gather all this information to end up writing books on other people's personal experiences. You know that? So y'all can do your research on it and everything. That's what we doing with history. We going back reading his story. You sit back and you understand what the past is. Then you'll talk about other people's story. It's telling you his story. You don't even have personal experience in writing that stuff. It's not to say you won't see yourself in certain things. Don't get it wrong. Because I can see reading and studying Bible, be honest with you, I see certain things. I'm like, oh my God. I experienced that. Even though that's part of history. Yeah, a lot of it, like the Bible, stuff like that, right? It's been changed throughout the years and all that type of stuff. But then when you read certain passages and certain, scripture, or mature you be like, oh my God, I remember going through this. I remember this right here. Oh, that same thing happened to me. Even though a lot of us might look at it and say, oh, it's fiction, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. And it can be to some, but it's real to others too. It's real. But now, what I understand about scripture, and I tell people, right, don't quote scripture to me. You want to try to quote scripture because you understand a little bit about Bible. And I tell people, do not quote scripture to me. And they be like, wow, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. I said, because it comes to life. That's all. When you quote certain things for a person like myself that has been through a lot in the past, that's basically what you're talking about. History. So I look at myself a lot of times when I'm reading Bible. And then when I look at myself right now today as a community activist, right, as a human rights advocate, I'm a messenger. Y'all ain't realize that? As a person that fights for your civil rights, your equal rights, and your constitutional rights, as a human rights advocate who deal with the religious sector and the politicians, I'm a messenger. You don't get it? You don't get it? I speak out against corruption, but I can't do it by myself, so I had to get around other people like organizations that believes in your civil rights, your equal rights, and your constitutional rights. Equal opportunity. Women fighting for their rights because they feel as though they need to make the same amount as men. They need to feel equally as men. And we talking about basically on the materialistic side, and you're missing the whole point. Because as a woman, don't compare yourself to a man. Because we're made differently. But as a woman or a man, when it comes to the material values in life, because that's all y'all talk about and compare yourself to. Material things, financial wealth. Think that builds character. That's not character. Character is when you're dealing with your personality. Knowing who you are as a man or woman. Your character, your personality. I'm a loving, caring, kind, considerate person. I can be a rotten, no good person as well if I choose to live like that. But just for today, I choose to live this God-centered, fearing life, being a loving, kind, considerate person. And I'm going to tell you this too. I'm not just saying it. My actions speak louder than anything I can say out my mouth. I tell y'all that all the time. And that's not being smart. Basically, whatever I say out my mouth, I do. I came on the Teen Talk Show today to start the Teen Talk Show. Am I lying? I'm on the show. We just finished talking about it. It's supposed to go for 45 minutes. I've been on here for almost 2 hours. So did I lie? Be More's Real Teen Talk Show. Keep watching, keep following. Because it's going to get back to the point, because I'm looking at a round table, right, for the Teen Talk Show. I had it in the dining room the same way with the couch conversation. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, we would do the Teen Talk on Saturdays. So it's getting there. By me doing this broadcasting the way I'm doing, I'm actually trying to prepare everything all over again. So it starts like this. until we're able to put the team back together that can come on every Saturday, and we will discuss a regular time. Now, I might this time, so I'll feel, because a lot of times I don't go to sleep till late. That's just the way my body been working. If I can go to sleep at 4 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock, knowing I got to be somewhere at 9 o'clock that morning, I ain't got no problem with it. Long as I get a little sleep in, I'm going to go do what I got to do. That's the way when I drove the tractor trailer I was. So it's like my body, you know, I'm just used to it. A certain amount of time, I'll look, I sleep better during the day than I do at night. But now that's because I drove the tractor trailer, so I kind of know myself. But now, when you trying to do business, and I'm not just talking about the LLC, right? I'm talking about the Couch Conversation show. This is business for me as well, production. Like a studio production. The Couch Conversation, the Teen Talk show. And it's a few things that y'all can do to help me. Whenever I come on the Couch Conversation and you support it, this is not your regular, and I keep saying it over and over and over. This is not like your regular live stream, like most people have panels up with the topics on it and they arguing and screaming and going for each other. That's not what this is about. This is the Couch. I'm sorry. Today, this is B Moore's Real Teen Talk Show. So it's a talk show. So if it's B More Real Teen Talk Show, I don't care if you're in California, Delaware, Chicago, but if you have teenagers or children, period, and you want to kind of like discuss certain things, or you stuck in a certain area in your life and you might dealing with your youth, right? And you might want to talk with somebody else that might have been there. Come on. Each one teach one. We learn from one another. Mainly our mistakes. We learn. I'm real good at telling y'all, right? Not just me, just the people I try to deal with. I'm real good at telling y'all the mistakes that I made in life and how God helped me turn those mistakes around. And if you don't want to learn how to be a productive member in this new way of life, or you ever continue living off of old information and, you know, wondering why your children might be acting a certain way because you talk in one way, but your actions is another way, you're confusing them. And that's what I had to learn with my children as a parent. We can always talk a good game, but they watching us as well. And then you wonder why they got a destructive behavior. But if your behavior is destructive, what you think gonna happen with them? It's a learned behavior. That's all. And I was going to say I love it, right? But it's destructive behavior because I started realizing, even though my ex, we teaching them morals, values, principles. We want them to live a better life, a better quality of life than what we provided for them, be honest, than what we had. Not only that, they watching what their parents are doing. Their parents' actions are matching what they are saying. Y'all get it? And it hit me one day. Because a lot of us can talk a good game, but they watching you. They watching. It's like, huh? And take a look at yourself, parents. Parents, take a look at yourself. And it's not to say sometimes that you can teach your kids and your kids won't stray. Reason why I'm saying that, because my mother taught me morals, values, principles, to respect my adults, to respect the teachers, right? And the reason why my mother said that, we in school, how many hours out the day? What is it, about 6? From 8 in the morning to about 3 or 4. It's normally 6 or 7 hours, right? Who are the babysitters at this time? When your children is at school 6, 7 hours, who's watching over your children? Now, if you got a teacher that's teaching them, you shouldn't let it be no conflict with y'all, because they are watching your children during that time. The children that can't go to a regular school because they're young, they normally go to daycare, right? You gonna tell a daycare provider how to provide for your kids. If your child being destructive in that daycare, they're gonna come to you as a parent to let you know. And the goal is for you to correct your child. And if you don't know how to correct your child and your child unruly behavior, you let that daycare provider know. Because 9 times out of 10, the daycare provider won't have to be that absent parent for you. Do y'all get it? Come on. Then when you have teachers, because now they out of daycare where they can go to pre-kindergarten and then kindergarten, once again, you got the providers right there for them. But you rather for your kids to get there and show their butts and disrespect the provider or the teacher. Once again, your child is being disrespectful to an adult that's basically representing you because you're not there for those 6 hours with them educating and teaching your kids. But you're going to turn around and get mad at at them. I didn't play that because, and my wife, we didn't play that. My mother didn't play it with us. During the times when you are at the school, the teachers are considered as the babysitter or setters. They're educating, they're providing for your children during that time. But then when your child get rudely, they're going to call you because they always called us. So I already know the process to let you know your child is being disrespectful or showing their butt. And then a lot of parents now, you're going to get mad at the teacher, but you don't want the teacher to discipline your child. Back in the days, they used to spank your hand with the ruler. Back in the days, we had security. So if you didn't want to go home, and I'm talking about the guys, they hit you on your butt with the paddle. That was only to get you the act right, basically, family. Now I can look at it now, to be honest with y'all. Part of the school to prison pipeline, right? Discipline and all that. When you kind of look at it, it takes you back to a lot of negative stuff. But if you look at it in a more positive way, you understand why they was doing what they was doing. To teach us some discipline and self-control and respect and all that. So I'm saying it now because I'm older. Some stuff I didn't see when I was younger, I see a lot now. What they was trying to do. Now that the school system don't practice a lot of those behaviors, look what's happening. They trying to uneducate our children. They trying not to educate them. And see, for a lot of y'all that's younger parents who don't understand what a lot of us that had that was structured. It was more structured than, you get me? And now the structure is not there as much no more. And I'm talking about with the school system. I had teachers reach out to me. Mainly when I went to speak on how our school superintendent is not giving the teachers the proper curriculum to better educate our children. And I spoke out on it about how important it is to educate the children. I'm talking about mainly our young men, right? If you don't properly educate them, not all, but if you don't properly educate them, they will begin to live a destructive way of life. And that's why it's called the school to prison pipeline. Then you got some guys that's coming on here and they downing people for going to college. That's part of furthering their education. Not just furthering their education, I'm gonna tell you personally for me, my vocabulary is very limited because I only have a 9th grade education. My vocabulary is very, very limited. And what I began to realize back then, certain 4-letter words that we was able to pronounce like now, once you go further up towards your education, the words begin to expand. It still means the same, but it's just the word that you're pronouncing. That word began to change because you know how to, not the definition, you know how to start putting it more into perspective, you get me, but on a larger educational scale. And that's the only words I could think of right now, just to say it. So I know how important it is, education-wise. You articulate a lot better. I can tell you now from a person that came out. And then when I listen to my children who finished school, who went to college, I realized their vocabulary and their conversation when they talking together wise, it is so totally different from like dad's. I see it, I be laughing. I'm like, God damn. And a lot of times because they're well educated, right? This what y'all would do. Oh, they sound like a white person. No. Because y'all want to make everything black and white. And I listen, my daughter, my 24-year-old, she got her degree, her Bachelor's of Art degree in criminal justice. So do you think she talk real ghetto? Then she's working at a law firm. Getting ready to go back to the university, well, get ready to go to the University of Maryland to work on her degree, you know, to become a certified license or get her, you know. Do y'all think she gonna sit up there, what's up, Flo? And then most of the people that she's working around and her girlfriends. One of her girlfriends, I think she went to a law firm in DC. Their communicating level is like off the chain to me. And I was listening to my daughter and them talk. I was like, oh my God. So if you're very educated and you're very knowledgeable about certain things, and your conversation tends to go over this, I'll tell you, bring it down. Make it plain, a little bit more plain and simple where I can understand it. So no matter where your education is at, intellectually, if you talk about anything that's not clear, I'm going to ask you to make it a little bit more simple. That's all. It's not to feel bad. It's not to feel embarrassed. None of that. I'm going to ask you bring it down. We'll break it down to where I can understand it in layman terms. And because you have some well-rounded, educated people, sometimes they can't break it down and keep it simple because of the level of where they at. They speaking at a level of where they at. And that's not to put nobody down. That's not to make nobody look bad or none of that. You got to understand. If your comprehension level just not there with certain things, it's okay. Some stuff I say out my mouth, I know people probably like, what is he talking about? He just blah, blah, blah. But no, he's not. But in your head, he's babbling. No, he's not. That's because you steady trying to figure me out and don't realize that a lot of times I'm speaking from a 5th grade level because I had to turn around and make life plain and simple. When I open up my mouth, I speak in layman terms, and it'll fly right over your head. I already know it. Because I had to start speaking at a level of where I'm at. Of making stuff very, very plain and simple. And I realized for a lot of people, you so busy you in your head while somebody talking, thinking they already got the answer before they finish. So that goes to show you ain't even listening. You don't hear. I like flipping that thing around. I like flipping it because when people talk, I hear the words coming out your mouth. Don't get it wrong. But I got to feel it. So a lot of times when you say certain things, it might not make sense to this. You get me? Because I'm trying to figure you out. I'm trying to figure what you're saying. But if I take my time and I listen with my spirit or my heart, I hear you a lot better. That didn't fly over your head, did it? And the reason why I'm sharing that, because little stuff like that, family, I had to get to the point of just keeping life so plain and simple. You get me? That's all I'm saying. I had to learn to keep it plain, keep it simple. I will do my research. I will study up certain little things. You know, a lot of the stuff I do when it comes to speaking out on certain topics or whatever. And part of it, a lot of it is going to be based around a personal experience on top of that, so I can get the message across. But it's like if you're very, very intellectual, or you trying to figure out one and one and all of that while somebody talking, and then all of a sudden you misinterpreting everything they say. I listen to a lot of this on TikTok. Well, you said this and you said that. No, they did not. Because you want to fix stuff back with your own words. Or they say certain things. Well, actually, what you're saying is, no, go off of what they said, not what they're saying, what you think they're saying. And a lot of people have a tendency of doing that. Well, actually, what you're saying is, and they go, no, I'm not. That's not, don't change people's words. And y'all have a tendency of doing that. I'm the only reason why I'm saying it, because some of the platforms I go on TikTok, I hear it a lot. And I hear some people say, no, stop adding words to it. Repeat back actually what I said. Not what you think they were saying. Listen to that. What you think they were saying, because you just messed it up. And now y'all up here arguing because they trying to prove to you that they didn't say that or they didn't say this, because you decided to put whatever you wanted there. Well, that's what it sounds like. And y'all be like, look at this bull crap right here. So look, y'all know when I come on, I hang around a little bit. And it's a purpose for everything, right? For what I say. And as long as TikTok doesn't find a reason to flag my my live on TikTok, I like to make 60-second clips from my TikTok stuff and send back. because I know my regular restring. That's why I say I want to get better at sticking to the 45 minutes. Because one, I don't expect for nobody to watch my live for no goddamn going 2 hours and 20 minutes, or basically 2 hours and a half. And if you do decide to watch it, my thing is, because you can always learn, you know, if you home and you don't really have nothing to do, and you just want to, you know where I'm at whenever I come on, and when I share certain topics, like right now the Teen Talk Show, giving our youth a voice, family. I had some people on where we was talking about like children and behaviors, and anytime, because I'm saying this right, and anytime we talk about children and youth behaviors, watch what I get ready to say. Anytime we talk about children and youth behaviors, y'all know we talking about adults, right? With their childish behaviors. With their destructive behaviors. Do y'all realize that? Because when you have adults that's practicing childish behaviors, right? That's not practicing adults' behaviors or being responsible and productive adults. They're practicing child. Hi, hey baby.
I'm so sorry. I had some things happen, but I'm back.
It was good because I
apologize.
It was good because look, I've been trying to. Y'all know when, like I said, when I get up here, it's kind of hard to go back down.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was going to end it a little bit, and I gotta make my little clips.
Okay, Mr. Production. All right.
That's why I need a team.
You do.
I do. I'm telling you.
You do?
Yeah, I do. And I heard you say a little bit earlier, you was trying to explain something, right? Conversating about yourself, and you said, yeah, and two. I said, there she go.
Yeah, I was picking at you. I was picking at you.
I said, there she go with that two. And I was like, you only speak like that. But,
I do not.
Right. But look.
It's native to Maryland.
I had a young lady that does her own production and everything. Mm-hmm. And we talking about getting together, and I was promoting her stuff, and she never showed up.
Are you serious?
They do it to me every time, Intervention. Every time I come on, that's why sometimes I don't take people very serious, because they'll come on, talk all this little Gucci stuff, want us to hook up and everything, and next thing you know, I'll be like, yeah,
Are they
right.
in your city?
Some, but yeah, it's a lot in the city too. But now on here, when I open up my mouth, right, to let anybody know, if you're in another city and if you're trying to do some of the things that we're doing here, and you just trying to figure out how to do it, I have no problem working with that with you. See, to help you start wherever you want to go. But now I do have people here that, because they see me doing certain things, and what I do might make you think that this dude is making a lot, and you want to jump in so that you can cash off it.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's horrible.
And I see it a lot, and that's why business wise, I was beginning to understand. Let me say this. I've been doing this maybe about 5 years, 6 years, somewhere. I got people that's been doing certain things like this for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. And really, they're doing great work. They're doing great work. They're making pretty fair money. Mm-hmm. But they're not at the point where they're getting the funding or the money the way they really want. Right? Because it can come a lot better. Yeah. Right? So for somebody that's just in, I ain't trying to wait no 20, 30 years. I ain't got that long. So I'm consistent with what I do. So some will come and they want to jump on your bandwagon, right? And they realize, oh, he here.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize sometimes it takes years and years and years to make the millions that you want to. That's all.
Okay.
And some people, it all depends on what you're doing and your product and everything, right? Where you might can get to that point of earning, and I ain't talking about the business work wise, profiting like millions within that 1 or 2 or 3 years. Might take 5, might take 10, might take 20. But you could be doing the work itself, but actually not profiting from it. So I was beginning to see that it takes some, and it all depends on, like I said, the product, right?
Right.
Or what your business model is. Because if you're selling products, then you actually need a team, not just a team. You need people that work in your warehouse, your production, and all that, right? So a lot of times you're going to spend more money into rebuilding, just building up the business, right? And then it started hitting me, you can do, and I'm going to say like a year, your operation itself could be around 5 million. Just say that, to run that business and pay your employees and stuff like that. But you're not earning millions in profit. You get me?
Yes.
So what I started seeing in the process of all of that, because I have a tendency, because I do transitional housing, and wherever I'm at, I'm going to work on mainly fixing it up if it's not the way I want it. So what I had to learn in that process, stop putting out so much money.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Because the only way to actually, and I had to tell myself that a while back, the only way, Steve, to profit, you got to learn to save more money than what you actually spend. And it hit me. It hit me, intervention. And I'm just saying, only reason why I'm putting it like that, right? Because when you're looking at making millions, okay, you got to go there. When you look at making millions, and then when you look at people like, I'm going to say Elon Musk, Gates, Trump, and they invest in other people's money. That's a lot why they get where they at.
Right.
And Trump is a prime example because I really had to watch him business-wise, right?
Oh, he's great business.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Amazing business.
Yeah. You noticed that too?
Oh, I knew that years ago.
I said
Years
this,
ago.
and sometimes y'all might not pay attention. How can a daggone billionaire file for bankruptcy?
Very easily.
Well, wait a minute. Ho. Because I'm going to tell you what he said. How can a billionaire file for bankruptcy, right? When he got the money to pay you back. But this what he said. That's what they get for letting me use their money. I said, you mother sucker. Y'all never paid attention to him?
It's not his money.
Right. Big Mo just came up. But look, I started realizing. I said, oh my God. He used other people's money.
That's a part of business, and they don't use a lot of their actual network because they network. And people don't understand, even when they file taxes, they have a lot they have to write off, but yet they also got a lot to pay.
That's a big.
And they in a different bracket. As far as we spending a little bit here, they spending millions.
Right.
And sending it to charities and all kind of stuff. Man.
See, he know. I'm sorry, Big.
Employees and man, they business. They what to operate that company. I mean, it's a whole lot.
And you know what if you look it up, you can search it, right? It's about 5. And when I talk about the billionaires, I'm talking about people like Bill Gates and them. That's like into the hundreds, right? A lot of them, just like what Big Mo just said, they, in order for them to do the tax write-off, the way they do to avoid taxes, a lot of that too, because I realized that Big, they put it back in the community. And I'm going to tell you this as an LLC, and I don't like to say certain things too much, Big, but I know y'all probably can relate. A lot of nonprofits ask me to partner up with them because of the work I do, And because of that, I use their EIN numbers. So it'll make them look like they're doing better business than for them to get that money. I didn't want to go straight with that one, Ben. You know what I mean? I mean, Big. I didn't, because you gotta understand. Because so many people will reach out to me in Invention, and because I'm an LLC. And that's how I avoid certain things, because I give it to you. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And I was trying to watch it the other day when we was up here talking about business, but I know to avoid certain taxes, because I started watching them. Where mainly with Trump. Mainly Trump.
Yeah, a lot of their money is in trust. So
Yes.
it won't be messed with.
You can't.
And that's where you got to put, if you have a lot of money, you better put it in a trust.
You need to put everything in a trust.
Yep.
That's what I say. Everything.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be smart. Like I'm big, and I'm just saying this with my LLC. With my LLC, ain't a damn thing they can do with me. It ain't nothing they can do with me, because what I learned in this process, right? As a corporation, is for us to come together. So it's a group of us together under that one umbrella. So basically it goes like this. Now, mind you, every time I say this, Big, people like Elon Musk come to mind. People like Bill Gates and them come to mind. Because people think they got to that point in their lives becoming billionaires by themselves. No. Even though Elon Musk, I'm going to say the company itself is worth like 400 billion. Elon Musk itself might be only worth 10. But it's the business as a whole, right? And it's other corporations that started believing in that project. So they add new one. They add new one. And it's just like with the church. It's the same things with the church.
As a business too.
It is. Very profitable.
Let me tell you, they're not the same church of the Book of Acts in the biblical days. Yeah, they gave all to the priests, and the priests separated all the money and the goods to the people that was lacking and need. And they met everybody's need, and none of them lacked. And not today. They just lining up their pockets, their investments, of their properties, that they resource to themselves. They ain't caring about the people. They just like taxpayers.
I know.
Basically, God will bless you. God will bless you. How God is gonna bless you? Listen, I left this church. They talking about when you sign your check over to this church. What is it? You sign your check over to this church, you're signing it not to this church, you're signing it to Jesus Christ.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah,
you know good well Jesus Christ, don't he? He at the right hand of his Father with power and glory. Come on, man.
Now they tell you that, Big. Let me say this. Intervention. One thing I love about my pastor. He come from Cherry Hill, right? So, he went to get into engineering, but God took him the other way. But let me just say this, right? That's like my big brother, because number one, he's staying firm on the word. He helped people with their mortgages and all of this. He buy them cars, right? Because he write books and stuff, so he puts back. But the reason why I'm saying this, Bishop, they got him a Rolls Royce, right? 1 year. They brought my pastor Rolls Royce. He gave it back. He said, I don't want that stigma put on me. Yeah, he don't play. That's why I love about him, because he does what he do, and we do as well too, with our tithing and all that. So we see where it's going. You get me? Back into the community. See, now I can't speak, like Big said, I can't speak for everybody, because I can only speak for where I'm at, and I see what he's doing, right?
Yeah, I see it. General Jennings. I don't believe everything. Listen, I don't believe everything that he, certain things. But I mean, the holiness and all that, I believe that. But the thing is, I believe what he's saying is, you do not take for the people. He don't get a pension or anything from the church. He worked for himself.
Right.
So he said he believed the same thing. You volunteer the gospel, and whatever comes to the church is go to the people that in need or organizations or the community. That's what they do. Feed the hungry, the homeless. And my old pastor, Pastor Ron Carpenter out of North Carolina, World Outreach Center, he do the same thing. I've been under his ministry too. He feed the homeless. He give scholarships to children. He gives to the community. A lot of churches don't do that. They just line up their own pocket. Like you look at the Osteen, his church. Hey, golly, you should see what they living in. I will be scared. Listen, I will be scared to be living in a big mansion and all my people giving and they barely even making it. And I'm living luxury. Off of the people. I'll be scared, man, to stand before God like that. Seriously.
They ain't scared because they don't even believe what they're saying anyway. That's my belief.
I'm just saying, I'm telling you, these people are going to be held accountable. God is not just, people think God is just some, he created everything. He know everything. So it ain't like he going to be they treat him like he just dumb, basically.
Now let me ask you this, Big. You came from under Geno Jennings?
No, I didn't. North Carolina. I just listen.
Yeah, look.
I'm originally from Detroit, but I moved down there.
Look.
Yeah, man, my wife moved down there. Now I'm back.
I thought Geno was in Philadelphia.
Yeah, but he got a church right here in Baltimore.
He got another one over there?
He got a whole lot of temples.
Yeah, thank you, Big.
Temples overseas and everywhere.
Yeah.
He sets up his apostle.
Yeah, and guess what? He don't have a doctorate degree.
He don't have no degree.
No, basically he's like me. It's the spirit, right? But Geno, right? I know his cousin here in Baltimore, and man, his cousin would stay into it. And when he told me Geno was his family, he said that's where my attitude come from. So I started paying more attention to Geno, but Geno is raw. I don't care who you. He don't play.
He real with the gospel.
I said he don't play.
That's why I respect him.
Right.
I like him a little bit, Big Mo.
No, sound like
And see, that's why
Big Mo.
That's why I said I had to learn to respect them. And I'm going to tell you somebody else, Umar.
I love Umar.
And I'm going to tell you somebody else when I was still in the dark.
I don't know. He educated, but Umar kind of been going off on the
He's
so much
into it. We bring it back. We bring it back. We bring it back. No,
but look, no, hold. Big Mo.
Huh?
Now, I'm just asking this because his behavior, right? His behavior one day. Wait a minute, Big Mo. His behavior one day, right? And I know Umar is a very, very educated man. And I started listening to him for a while, and I was like, oh my God, he sounds like he's losing his freaking mind. Did y'all notice that?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Then he's supposed to, he called himself being broke and all of this.
But he crashed out about that woman. Go ahead, Big Mo. I'm sorry.
Come on, Big Mo.
No, you talking. I won't cut you off. Go ahead.
Now, I was just thinking about it. Come on, intervention.
He and I are friends in real life, so I know what exactly happened. A lot of people don't. But it was a lot behind that whole video where the woman was talking, where his child said he